let's dilate lines and angles. All right, so for this first part of the lesson 4.1, I'm actually not going to provide any answers for this. I want you to try it on your own, answer the questions, and you're going to post them on Google Classroom. All right, and then you're also, in addition to posting on Google Classroom, going to respond to another one of your classmates' posts, either agreeing, disagreeing with the post they made to the 3 questions for 4.1. All right, so go ahead and do that. All right, so moving on to 4.2. All right, number 1, dilate point A using center C and scale factor of 3/4. All right, so in order to do 3/4, we have to actually cut it up into halves first. So first, I'm actually going to see if B is the midpoint from C to A, because that would make my life a lot easier. Let's see if it is. And it is, actually. So I know that if C is my center and B is in the middle, if I want to get 3/4, it's going to be somewhere in between A and B. And when I say somewhere, I mean directly in the middle. So I'm going to construct a perpendicular bisector to find that midpoint. All right, so a little bit more than halfway. Make an arc above and below. We'll do the same thing from B. All right. And that's going to give me, using my 2 Jordan marks, 2 reference points, whatever you want to call it. All right, and that point right there, dilating A, so let's call it A prime. Let's say times 3/4. All right, because I dilated it by a scale factor of 3/4. All right, dilate point B using center C and scale factor 1/3. Well, unfortunately, we do not have a construction for dilating something by 1/3, but I can use my the length on my protractor. You will never be asked to use the ruler on the Regents exam for geometry. They'll always give you the length, but I'm just going to do it using the measure here because that's what they're telling me to do in the lesson. So if I look from C to B, I'll use centimeters because that's a little more accurate. All right. I can see that looks like it's about 2.4 centimeters. So I can say CB equals 2.4 centimeters. So if I want to dilate that by scale factor of 1/3, I'm just going to take 2.4 and multiply it by 1/3. And that's going to give me 0.8 centimeters. So I can go over to C, line it up with B, and just mark off where 0.8 is right there. And that'll be B prime. All right, that's a little bit informal. Not really the way I like to do dilations because you're sort of relying on your eyesight, and obviously that allows for human error. But for the sake of this activity, that's what I did. Okay. Next, dilate D using center C and scale factor 3/2. Well, 3/2 is just the same as 1.5. So if I'm going to dilate D using center C, that means I'm going to be extending it in this direction. So I probably should extend this line a little bit. Like that. All right, so I know if I mark up my center at C and put my pencil at D, that's a dilation of scale factor of ×1. So if I mark up again, using that same length, centering at D and continuing on my line of projection, that'll be ×2. So to get 1.5, I just got to find the middle between D and that ×2 dilation. So I go a little bit more than what looks like halfway. Make my 2 semicircles for my perpendicular bisector. Okay. Really make those intersection points obvious. Connect the dots. All right, so that means that D prime is going to be right there, and that's about ×1.5. All right, and we notice that all of these points that I've been dilating stay on the line. All right, actually they're going to get into that number 5, so I won't jump the gun. All right, dilate line CE using center C and scale factor 2. Okay, this one is a little bit trickier. If I'm going to dilate a line